Tracy. Just came on a couple minutes early to give people time to log in. Happy Monday, everyone. Hi, guys. Hello, friends. Hello, hello. So we're going to be doing a mobility flow. Eric, you better stay. We're going to be doing a mobility sort of flow dynamic. I don't know, I'm just calling these mobility. I don't know what to call them because to me it's mobility, but some people are sort of like, what the heck does that mean? So anyways, all dynamic movements, just getting your body loosened up. If you're really sore from the weekend, then this will be great for you. Hello, hello, people logging in. Just gonna wait another minute or so before we get started. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Turned out okay yesterday. It was raining and then it was nice. So overall, I would say not bad. So make sure you have a mat or a comfy spot on the carpet, whatever works for you, a blanket, whatever works, doesn't matter, just some sort of surface to give you a little bit of some cushion. Hopefully the construction noise outside isn't too loud, because I do want some fresh air in here. And that's pretty much it. I'm in socks, you can be barefoot. Having a lovely day so far. I'm off work today, so I feel extra relaxed going into this. We're going to start on our knees. So come into a comfortable kneeling stance, and if kneeling is too much for you just because of knee issues, then you can sit on your bum with your legs cross-legged. Oh, my husband's closing the door. It's too loud. Anyway, so starting on in a kneeling stance or sitting cross-legged if kneeling hurts you. And you're going to just gently rest your legs on the top of your legs. Rest your legs on your legs, good Lord. Rest your hands on your thighs. And close your eyes and just take a couple deep breaths here before we get into the movements. My husband's distracting me. And we're going to begin by just doing some gentle turning of the head, looking over each one of your shoulders. I like to sort of start with the neck and then work our way down. That's what I've been kind of doing as this groove for our mobility sessions. And don't force your head to go too far. Just go to the point that feels comfortable for you. Coming back to center. And now tilting your head towards one ear and the other way. And if you tend to hold tension through your neck and like upper back and shoulders, you'll really feel this being quite tight. So just gently aim each ear to each shoulder. And now we're going to just rotate it in front, rotating one way and then the other. So we're not rotating to the back, just rotating in a half moon, shoulder to shoulder. Nice and smooth here. Awesome. Bringing your arms down to your side, you're going to lift your shoulders up and down. And when they come down, I want you to really think about them going down as far away from your ears as possible. So you're almost squeezing your shoulder blades together in the back as well. And some gentle circles here with the shoulders. Now place your hands on your shoulders and still rotating backwards, rotating those elbows like you're drawing two circles. You should feel this opening up through the chest a little bit. And now full arm circles, rotating through that range of motion as best as you can. Beautiful. And we're going to switch now, doing the same thing the other direction, forwards now. And bringing those hands onto your shoulders, taking those arm circles forwards. And full circles. So we're really getting those shoulders woken up, awakened. Awesome. Okay. Interlacing your fingers, you're going to press your arms out and away from you, looking down at your belly button. And then you're going to take your hands behind you, interlacing your fingertips again, and lean forwards. And we're going to rotate between those two things nice and smoothly, pressing out in front, and then opening up and leaning forwards. And you want to lift those arms away, up and away from your body as much as you can. And it's going to depend on your shoulder flexibility, how far away from the body you can lift them. Now, I can't lift mine very far away. I've got a lot of restriction through my rotator cuff muscles, but everyone's different. You might be able to lift these arms way up overhead. And one more time, pressing it out. And lean forwards. Coming back up into the center. We're going to, I'm just going to shift back here. You're going to sit back so that your arms are stretched out in front of you. Now, without moving your hands, you're going to just slightly shift your weight forward so that your elbows can come onto the mat. So you're resting on knees and elbows. And you're going to take one hand and put it behind your head, and we're gonna just do some gentle rotations here. So normally we do this on our hand. We're gonna do it on our elbow today. And taking that arm up to the ceiling, really twisting it, and then twisting through, trying to place your shoulder onto the mat. And twisting up and through. Up and through. One more time here. Coming back onto both elbows, lifting up onto your hands, and sitting all the way back. And we're going to walk our hands over to one side of the mat, stacking one hand on top of the other. And back to the other side, opposite hand on the top. You're going to gently move side to side, stacking one hand on top of the other, making sure that your tailbone is still sitting down into your heels. Coming back to the center, lengthening those arms again, slightly shifting your weight forward so that you're on your elbows here, and taking the opposite arm behind your head, doing some slight rotations here. So this one you should feel more into your lower back than when we typically do it up on our hands and knees. And taking that arm straight up to the ceiling and reaching through, aiming your shoulder onto the mat, reaching it up and twisting through, up and through. You guys are doing great. Up and through. Last one here, reaching it all the way up and twisting through. Coming back to the center, straightening those arms and sitting back. Walking your hands back up towards your knees. We're gonna just do some sort of side to side movement here. So very gently, you're going to offset your hands to one side, and you're going to gently sit your bum that direction, and then switch your hands and sit the other way. So you're kind of just popping your butt down on one side and then the other. Just go very smoothly. And if it's hurting your knees, you can put a pillow underneath or roll your mat a couple of times to give you a little bit of cushion. And coming back to center. We're going to go onto all fours here. So, shoulders are stacked directly over top of your wrists. Hips are stacked over top of your knees. And from here, we're gonna just do a few cat-cows. So, rounding out and hollow. Last time. And still staying on all fours, we're gonna rotate through the hips. So knees are gonna stay planted, all of your legs are gonna stay planted, but you're going to move your hips in a rotation, so in a circle. Like your hips are drawing a circle around your knees. So you're going to one side, around the front, and back. And each time you come to the front, your hips might shift slightly more forwards. And coming back to center, and we're going to go the other direction. So your hips and your shoulders are ball and socket joints, so it means that they move in multiple directions. So it's good to sort of hit that joint through all of those different directions. And especially the hips, they're very used to moving forward and backwards because that's the motion that your legs do when you're walking. But we forget about that lateral movement as well. So coming back to the center here, we're going to just sit up tall again on our knees, taking one hand across the opposite leg and twisting and looking behind. Coming through the center to the other. And you want to look over top of that shoulder. So try to look at something that's right behind you. You can do this sitting down as well, cross-legged. Great. So from here, we are going to turn our toes under in the back, and we're going to pop up onto our feet in a low squat position. So you're balancing on your feet here. And we're going to do a few slow leg extensions. So you're going to keep your body folded forwards over top of your legs, and you're going to extend them, getting straighter and straighter each time you do it. So starting off, they're just going to straighten a little bit and come back. Do that a couple times. And each time we come up, our legs are getting straighter and straighter. Till you're able to fully straighten them and bend. Holding it here with those legs straight, slowly rolling up to the top, one vertebrae at a time, stretching your arms fully overhead, folding forwards from the waist, and bending your legs back down to that deep squat. And we're going to do that same thing one more time. Slowly straightening your legs, rolling up to the top. The last thing that comes up is your head. Arms hinging forwards from the waist. Don't round out your back until you absolutely need to. And bend those legs again. Awesome. Okay guys, we're gonna pop down onto our bums. We're gonna come down into a laying down position. So laying on our backs. And starting here with both legs bent, I'll turn sideways so you can see. We're gonna just do a couple sort of partial snow angels. So I want you to bring your arms to a bent position, resting on the ground. So bent about 90 degrees. And you want to make sure that your back is pressing down into the mat and you're not allowing it to pop up and arch. So you want to engage your core to press it down. Both arms are bent. From here, we're going to straighten the arms up overhead and bend them back. Now the goal here is to actually keep your arms in contact with the ground as long as possible, and then coming back, keeping them in contact with the ground without letting your back pop up into an arch. So keeping it really pressed down. And if you find that you can only get to here, which is kind of where I can get to without feeling like something's gonna lift, then that's okay. And then come back. So just move within your range where you are able to not lift your own back up off of that mat. And if you're able to keep your arms in contact with the ground and go fully overhead, then that means you've got really good range of motion through your shoulders. Oh. Just do this a couple more times, straightening them up overhead and bringing them back to 90-degree bend. Last one. Beautiful. Now, you're going to take one leg up, bringing it towards you, grabbing on behind your hamstring. And from here, you're going to slowly straighten and bend. Just nice and fluid, straighten and bend. That's it. Try to get it to a fully lengthened position if you're able to. Taking that same leg and crossing it over the opposite leg, reaching through to grab on behind the other leg's hamstring, and you're going to slowly rock and lower. So that leg's going to come up towards, you're going to give it a little tug, and then it's going to drop back down onto the ground. Gentle. When I say tug, I mean just a really gentle little pull. Don't force your leg to go somewhere that it doesn't want to go. And if you're having a hard time reaching this leg, you could use a belt or a strap, a yoga strap here, to help you get some of that motion. Awesome. And lengthening out arms and legs, stretching your arms up overhead, lengthening out your body as much as you possibly can. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So bending your legs. Now you're taking the opposite leg in towards you, holding on behind the hamstring. So never hold on right behind the knee joint. And you're going to slowly lengthen and bend. That's it. Make sure you're breathing. Last time here, lengthen and bend. Beautiful. Crossing that leg over now, reaching through. You're going to give a little tug and lower. You've got it. So we're really getting those glutes loosened up here. Last time. This one's one of my favorites. And release. Uncrossing that leg, straightening legs and arms, lengthening out. Bringing both knees back up into a bent position. And you're going to roll your knees to one side and they're going to stay bent. Arms are outstretched into a T shape. Now, whichever direction your knees are twisted towards, that arm is going to stay on the ground. The other arm is going to come together and open. And every time you open, you want to think about looking over top of that arm. Last time here. Bringing your knees the other direction now. They're still bent 90 degrees. Arms are open in a T shape. And now the opposite arm is coming across and open. And you might notice now that this side maybe feels a little bit easier than the last one. And that's because your upper back and spine has kind of released. Try to keep your knees together here, not letting them pop apart. Last time. Coming back into the center, bringing both knees in towards you, giving them a little hug, rounding out your low back. You can gently kind of roll it around on the ground. And we're going to come up to a seated position. So in a seated position, you're going to separate your feet about hip distance apart. Come back just a little bit so you guys can see okay. And you're going to just gently windshield wiper your knees here. Just let them move within their comfortable range. Don't let either one of your butt cheeks lift up off of the mat. And coming into a 90-90 stretch on one side, so 90 degrees in one leg, 90 in the other. We're going to reach forwards and back. And when you come to the back, you want to press the butt cheek of your back leg into the ground. And that might make your knee lift up in the front, that's okay. Reaching forwards and back. And switching to the other side now, 90 degrees in both of those hips, and you're reaching forwards and back. Pressing that back leg, that hip bone down into the mat each time. And rotating side to side, One way and back to the other. That's it. Just slowly moving through. Try to keep the front leg on the ground as you open up the other leg. Go as long as you can without lifting that front leg off of the mat before you have to switch it over. And then do the same thing in reverse. One more time here. Lifting one leg up, the other one staying down as long as you can. Keep them as far apart, your knees as far apart from each other as possible. And last time. Keep those knees apart, 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 apart. And back. Awesome. Coming back into a cross-legged position to finish off our day. Just take a couple of deep breaths here, in through the nose. Set yourself up for success for the week ahead. Thank you so much for joining me for this midday mobility. I loved having you all, and I will see you guys tonight, 7:30 p.m. We are doing a HIIT and core circuit, so it'll be a fun one. So hopefully you can join me 7:30, and as always, I will post it up on my stories afterwards, where it will be available for 24 hours. So have a wonderful day. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you later.